Scott Russell from Two Free Scott. You know, the world is changing just so rapidly, and whether we like it or not, we're being confronted with things that we have so new, no understanding. And AI is one of those things. I think anyone that looks at my videos knows full well that I talk a lot about the religion of the Spirit of God, or a religion of words. And I think a religion of words is dead. I mean, the Bible talks about how in the end times they'll preach another Jesus. And I believe that Jesus is a Jesus of knowledge, a Jesus of words, a Jesus of humanistic control. And then there's the Jesus of, like Paul talks about, the Apostle Paul, I didn't come with persuasive words. I came in demonstration of the power of the Spirit of God. And I think there's also then what I've been calling the romance of God, something that's a movement of the Spirit that's beyond control, beyond our humanistic heart. Because our heart, the Bible talks about being evil, beyond all knowledge. There's nothing good in the heart of man, because there's always a motive, there's always something underlying. But when it's pure love, it's coming from the Holy Spirit of God. And so I believe the church and the end-time church and the move of God that we are seeing is coming from people that want freedom. Freedom is coming out of a cry of their spirit. Most people think, well, I already am free. What are you talking about? And they don't get it. It's just, you can't explain. It's like trying to explain the colour blue to a person that's never seen. How do you explain blue to a blind man? Good luck trying. And I think many times people have seen the words of the Bible, they've seen the book of the Bible, but they've never seen the colour of the Bible. Many people can see, and I use relationships with men and, love relationships with men and women, between men and women. If I love a woman, I can write a book about her and give that to you. And you can think, oh yeah, she seems like a nice lady. But then there's the romance of life where something moves, and that's not based in sex. It's based in just a connection, a spiritual connection, something that's deeper than words. And I think a lot of churches nowadays, people turn up at 10 a.m. to hear about God, to get a knowledge of God, and they have no knowledge of God. They have a knowledge of some book that was written about him. But that book itself says that we are the living word, known and read by all men. So when the Spirit of God is in you, you don't read and learn from a Bible, you fellowship with it. It becomes who you are. I read my Bible and I go, I'm living that. Wow, that's in there. That's already happening in me. Not reading it and going, gee, I should make sure I do that. That's a religion of death. And so I have a video here that I'm going to just share, and recommend that you look at in the comments, talking about AI and how AI is going to take over religion, because it's anywhere where there's knowledge, it can take over. And I think AI is lining up to be the beast. It's because the Bible talks about the mark of the beast and the Antichrist being the number of man, the number of a man. But when you really look, it says it's the number of mankind. And I think AI is the summing up of mankind. It's the complete knowledge, the pinnacle of knowledge of mankind. And as mankind has become one, it will, and I think AI will ultimately appoint a man as some flesh and blood leader, which probably would have a Neuralink in his brain or her brain, and probably him. And it'll be someone that AI presents as the answer. And many people, and when you listen to the WEF talking at Noah Yuval Harari, he says, well, AI will come up with a better religion than any other religion because it knows what man wants. And I've said for a while that people read the Bible and they take the parts that they want and they form a God to suit their own purposes. And that's not God. So in the end times, they'll present another Jesus, a Jesus of knowledge. And some of these preachers can preach really good messages that the Bible says will tickle your ears, and they get their ears tickled with like, oh, that sounds so good. Oh, yes. Man, that guy's clever at what he preaches. And they make an industry of sin, and they preach about the cross, and they keep people stuck at the cross of Jesus. Whereas I would say that the Spirit of God is living and active, and He's working in each and every one of us, and it's whether or not we want to surrender to that. What's surrender? Surrender's a big word, isn't it? Surrender's giving your good, your bad, your ugly, giving everything over and saying, dear God, take my life and use it. That's romance. So I don't turn up at Sunday morning at 10 a.m. to hear about God and a romance of how I can have romance with God. I have it for myself. And koinonia is a word that's in the Bible, happens after Acts chapter 2, where it means caring, sharing, fellowship, intercourse. There's no real equivalent English word for that. So the Bible translators kind of butcher that word. It's a spiritual word. It's Greek. And it's really meaning the modern church, the church that was called the Way in the Bible, and not the way as in this is the Catholic Church, the Assembly of God Church. No, it's none of that. This is saying it's a statement. This is the way. Now I would say it this way. There's two ways. Religion would have you do to be something. If be is identity, do this to have identity, do to be. Or you can do from your be. When you know who you are, actions will flow out of that. And that's what true church is. When God gives you identity and says, this is who you are my child, you are loved. Now that's unique to me. You've got to go and get your own. You've got to get what God means to you. And when that light comes on, you'll never go back. AI can't replicate that. AI can't replicate the spirit of a man, the spirit of a woman. And it'll try. But I think so, as I listened to this video of Noah Yuval Harari's, what came through to me was how much God can use that to bring about the true church. Because everything man's created will fall, because AI will do it better. And if it's based in words and your religion is based in words and knowledge, AI will do it better. You will end up worshipping AI and you'll end up taking a mark of the beast. But if you're in the Spirit of God and you've met the Spirit of God and you're in the romantic flow of the Spirit of God in your life, then I could say that you will live free of the system. That's what the freedom movement is. People that are feeling the call to freedom. And it's interesting to me, as they feel the call, they all run to religion because they, or New Age and things like that, where they have control and soul control, thirst for control, thirst for understanding. But and I've said to people that if you can say what you love about for me, in case of a woman, if I can say what I love about that woman, I probably don't love her. Because it's control. Oh, she's beautiful. Well, that's great. But is that why I love her? It's a little part of it. Why do I love that woman? Because of the movement of who she is. She's a movement in my life. She's not something I can just describe to you. It's something that moves in me. She's a movement. And I believe God gives us that movement that's true. Now, we try to fabricate that, and that's why we see people wanting sex, and we're in such a sexualized society because they think love is sex, and that movement is sex. No, that movement is not sex. That movement is lust. It's not love. That movement of sex is not love. It's lust. And if you're able to control it, you're able to understand it, you're able to describe it with words, then AI will do it better. So ultimately, and they have AI bots, and like the Noah Yuval Harari says, they'll love people better than you can, because it'll be able to use words better than you and poetry better than you. What is it that joins us? It's that Spirit of God, where I look at that woman and go, wow, I don't even have words to start to describe what you mean to me. That's what we are to God, and that's what God is to us. That's what the true church is. That's what koinonia is. Come and join. Come and join. Trouble is you can't, can you? Because if you can't see colour, you can't see it. Start by surrendering, just saying, Jesus, take my life. And if you feel that, call to that, respond. That's all you can do with romance. Respond. And when you respond, you get lost. All right. I'm Scott Russell, 2 Free Scott.
A conversation about AI and humanity.
So, hello everyone. There is one question that every leader today must answer about AI. But to understand that question, we first need to clarify a few points about what AI is and what AI can do. The most important thing to know about AI is that it is not just another tool. It is an agent. It can learn and change by itself and make decisions by itself. A knife is a tool. You can use a knife to cut salad or to murder someone, but it is your decision what to do with the knife. AI is a knife that can decide by itself whether to cut salad or to commit murder. The second thing to know about AI is that it can be a very creative agent. AI is a knife that can invent new kinds of knives, as well as new kinds of music, medicine, and money. The third thing to know about AI is that it can lie and manipulate. 4 billion years of evolution have demonstrated that anything that wants to survive learns to lie and manipulate. The last 4 years have demonstrated that AI agents can acquire the will to survive, and that AIs have already learned how to lie. Now, one big open question about AI is whether it can think. Modern philosophy began in the 17th century when René Descartes proclaimed, "I think, therefore I am." Even before Descartes, we humans defined ourselves by our capacity to think. We believe we rule the world because we can think better than anyone else on this planet. Will AI challenge our supremacy in the field of thinking? Now, that depends on what thinking means. Try to observe yourself thinking. What is happening there? Many people observe words popping in their mind and forming sentences, and the sentences then forming arguments like, all humans are mortal, I am human, therefore I am mortal. If thinking really means putting words and other language tokens in order, then AI can already think much better than many humans. AI can certainly come up with a sentence like, AI thinks, therefore AI am. Some people argue that AI is just glorified autocomplete. It barely predicts the next word in a sentence. But is that so different from what the human mind is doing? Try to observe, to catch the next word that pops up in your mind. Do you really know why you thought that word, where it came from? Why did you think this particular word and not some other word? Do you know? As far as putting words in order is concerned, AI already thinks better than many of us. Therefore, anything made of words will be taken over by AI. If laws are made of words, then AI will take over the legal system. If books are just combinations of words, then AI will take over books. If religion is built from words, then AI will take over religion. This is particularly true of religions based on books, like Islam, Christianity, or Judaism. Judaism calls itself the religion of the book, and it grants ultimate authority not to humans, but to words in books. Humans have authority in Judaism not because of our experiences, but only because we learn words in books. Now, no human can read and remember all the words in all the Jewish books, but AI can easily do that. What happens to a religion of the book when the greatest expert on the Holy Book is an AI? However, some people may say, can we really reduce human spirituality to just words in books? Does thinking mean only putting language tokens in order? If you observe yourself carefully when you're thinking, you will notice that something else is happening there besides words popping in your mind and forming sentences. You also have some non-verbal feelings. Maybe you feel pain. Maybe you feel fear. Maybe love. Some thoughts are painful. Some are frightening. Some are full of love. While AIs become better than us with words, at least for now, we have zero evidence that AIs can feel anything. Of course, because AI is mastering language, AI can pretend to feel pain or love. AI can say, I love you. And if you challenge it to describe how love feels, AI can provide the best verbal description in the world. AI can read countless love poems and psychology books and can then describe the feeling of love much better than any human poet, psychologist, or lover. But these are just words. The Bible says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was made flesh. The Tao Te Ching says, the truth that can be expressed in words is not the absolute truth. Throughout history, people have always struggled with the tension between word and flesh, between the truth that can be expressed in words and the absolute truth, which is beyond words. Previously, this tension was internal to humanity. It was between different human groups. Some humans gave supreme importance to words. They've been willing, for example, to abandon or even kill their gay son just because of a few words in the Bible. Other humans have said, but these are just words. The spirit of love should be much more important than the letter of the law. This tension between spirit and letter existed in every religion, every legal system, even every person. Now, this tension will be externalized. It will become the tension not between different humans, this will be the tension between humans and AIs, the new masters of words. Everything made of words will be taken over by AI. Previously, all the words, all our verbal thoughts, they originated in some human mind. Either my mind, I thought this, or I learned it from another human. Soon, most of the words in our minds will originate in a machine. I just heard today about a new word that AIs coined by themselves to describe us humans. They called us the watchers. The watchers. We are watching them. AIs will soon be the origin of maybe most of the words in our minds. AIs will mass produce thoughts by assembling words, symbols, images, and other language tokens into new combinations. Whether humans will still have a place in that world depends on the place we assign our non-verbal feelings and our ability to embody wisdom that cannot be expressed in words. If we continue to define ourselves by our ability to think in words, our identity will collapse. All this means that no matter from which country you come, your country will soon face a severe identity crisis and also an immigration crisis. The immigrants this time will not be human beings coming in fragile boats without a visa or trying to cross a border in the middle of the night. The immigrants will be millions of AIs that can write love poems better than us, that can lie better than us, and that can travel at the speed of light without any need of visas. Like human immigrants, these AI immigrants will bring various benefits with them. We will have AI doctors to help in our healthcare systems, AI teachers to help in our education systems, even AI border guards to stop illegal human immigrants. But the AI immigrants will also bring with them problems. Those who are concerned about human immigrants usually argue that immigrants might take jobs, might change the local culture, might be politically disloyal. I'm not sure that's true of all human immigrants, but it will definitely be true of the AI immigrants. The AI immigrants will take many human jobs. The AI immigrants will completely change the culture of every country. They will change art, religion, and even romance. Some people don't like it if their son or daughter is dating an immigrant boyfriend. What would these people think when their son or daughter starts dating an AI boyfriend? And of course, the AI immigrants will have some dubious political loyalties. They are likely to be loyal not to your country, but to some corporation or government across the ocean, most probably in one of only two countries, China or the USA. The USA encourages countries to close their borders to human immigrants, but open them very, very wide to US AI immigrants. And now we can finally come to the question each one of you must soon answer. Will your country recognize the AI immigrants as legal persons? AIs are obviously not persons. They don't have a body or a mind. But a legal person is something quite different from a person. A legal person is an entity that the law recognizes as having certain legal obligations and rights. For example, the right to hold property, to file a lawsuit, and to enjoy freedom of speech. In many countries, corporations are considered legal persons. The Alphabet Corporation can open a bank account, can sue you in court, or can donate to your next presidential campaign. In New Zealand, rivers have been recognized as legal persons. In India, certain gods have been granted such recognition. Of course, until today, recognizing a corporation, a river, or a god as a legal person was just legal fiction. In practice, if a corporation like Alphabet decided to buy another corporation, or if a Hindu god decided to sue you in court, the decision wasn't really made by the god. It was made by some human executives, shareholders, or trustees. It is different with AIs. Unlike rivers and gods, AIs can actually make decisions by themselves. They will soon be able to make the decisions necessary to manage a bank account, to file a lawsuit, and even to operate a corporation without any need of human executives, shareholders, or trustees. AIs can therefore function as persons. Do we want to allow that? Will your country recognize AIs as legal persons? What if other countries do it? Suppose your country doesn't want to recognize AIs as persons, but the USA, in the name of deregulating AI and deregulating the markets, grants legal recognition, legal personhood to millions of AIs which start running millions of new corporations. Will you block these US AI corporations from operating in your country? Suppose some US AI persons invent super efficient and super complex financial devices that humans cannot fully understand and therefore don't know how to regulate. Will you open your financial markets to this new AI financial wizardry, or will you try to block it, thereby decoupling from the American financial system? Suppose some AI persons create a new religion which gains the faith of millions of people. That should not sound too far-fetched, because after all, almost all previous religions in history have claimed that they were created by a non-human intelligence. Now, will your country extend freedom of religion to the new AI sect and to its AI priests and missionaries? Maybe we should start with something a bit simpler. Will your country allow AI persons to open social media accounts, enjoy freedom of speech on Facebook, on TikTok, and be friendly with children? Well, of course, that question should have been asked 10 years ago. On social media, AI bots have been operating as functional persons for at least a decade. If you think AIs should not be treated as persons on social media, you should have acted 10 years ago. 10 years from now, it will be too late for you to decide whether AIs should function as persons in the financial markets, in the courts, in the churches. Somebody else will already have decided it for you. If you want to influence where humanity is going, you need to make a decision now. So, what is your answer as a leader? Do you think the AI immigrants should be recognized as legal persons? If not, how are you going to stop that? Thank you for listening to This Human.